The Honorable Hector Barreto, Chairman of the Latino Coalition, served with distinction for 5 years as the Administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration for President Bush, having been unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate, including Senator Hatch, on July 25th, 2001. Hector currently serves as a member of the Board of the United States Chamber of Commerce and is also a member of the Minority Business Hall of Fame. A longtime friend of the next recipient of the Eagle Leadership Award, please welcome the Honorable Hector Barreto to the podium for the introduction.
Muchas gracias, Mickey. And I really want to also echo some of the comments that have made already. You know, we're very lucky that we have somebody like Mickey Barra helping to lead our country. I was telling him yesterday, I remember when I went into the White House, one of the people that I met during the Bush administration was Mickey Barra, and that big infectious smile, and he said, anything I can do for you, any way I can help you. And that's what's in his heart, and that's what he continues to do with these events. Let's give Mickey another round of applause. So today, I'm here with the privilege of recognizing and acknowledging our next honoree. And of course, for many of us, he's no stranger. Of course, he's our friend, Rudy Beserra. Now, many of you know him by his resume. Senior Vice President for Latin Affairs of Coca-Cola. He also came from modest roots in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's very proud of being from New Mexico, and he makes sure that all of us remember how special that enchanted state is. You know, he began his career at Coke after serving in the White House in 1989, where he was a special assistant to President Ronald Reagan and Small Business Affairs. I remember meeting Rudy many years ago. My father had taken me to the White House, and he introduced me to this very important man named Rudy Beserra. And my father was so proud of Rudy, had a big office in the old executive office building, this great portfolio. And he's continued leading in everything that he's done. Many of you know he was a founding member of the Congressional Hispanic Leadership Institute, or Chile, as he serves on the board also of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute. In the past, Rudy has also served as the chairman of a very important organization for our community, the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. Now, I have to tell you, I've known Rudy for almost 30 years, I think more than 30 years, and I remember so distinctly his great career at the White House. I also give him credit for helping my father with the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. During President Reagan's turn and Rudy's responsibilities, the chamber really took off. Yesterday he was reminding me, and when he was telling me this, I was thinking, gosh, this sounds like a movie that I saw once, Forrest Gump, where somebody's always at the right place at the right time. But that was Rudy. Rudy helped get Ronald Reagan to the first Hispanic convention where a president of the United States spoke. That was 1983 in Tampa, when Rudy was at the RNC. Rudy was there when my father met with Ronald Reagan. It was covered in Time magazine. It's a story that I tell often called the Stew Pot story. Very pivotal time in my father's career in life. He was there when the first Hispanic was in the cabinet of Ronald Reagan. A lot of people forget those things. We should remember that. He was also instrumental in helping the vice president who became the president, George Herbert Walker Bush, and later George W. Bush. And I tell you that because as I look around the room, there's so much leadership here. Everybody in this room is a leader. Everybody has made their own contributions. But it takes people like Rudy Beserra, who behind the scenes is helping to make the show go on. That's what Rudy does. He's honored many people in his career, and it's only right that we honor him. You know, I'm reminded of an old Chinese proverb, and that is, we must always honor the man that dug the well of the sweet water that we drink from today. For me, Rudy Beserra is one of those people that dug that well. Please join me in acknowledging our friend and the next honoree, Rudy Beserra. Please.
Thank you very much. I've never been told I'm the Latino Forrest Gump. You know? Thank you, Hector. You know, just following Gary Vasquez, you know, ambassador, Peace Corps, county supervisor, and me, soft drink salesman. I mean, I feel like being asked to be the captain of the next Titanic. Wait till it starts sinking, you know. But Gaddy, I mean, following you is just a great honor. It's a great honor to be here. Here in Cleveland, Ohio, with such a distinguished group of business executives and community leaders. It's a special pleasure to be introduced by Hector Barreto Jr. He mentioned the fact that his father brought him to the White House to visit me many years ago. In fact, Hector was a teenager. In fact, I think he still had braces. But I mentioned that because his father was president, CEO, and chairman of the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and he was so proud of his son, and he wanted me to meet him. And I bring that up because Hector not only has grown up to be an incredibly successful young man, but he's become a leader of our community. Hector, we're so proud of you. Continue to make us proud. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's also a pleasure to be here with Ambassador Gaddy Vasquez. The first time I met Gaddy, he was almost 20 years ago. He was a county supervisor, Orange County. And when I visited him in California, I was so impressed because this young man had an incredible responsibility. He was heading and running a large municipality. And I think I won him over when actually he won me over, when he casually mentioned that Coca-Cola was his favorite drink. Well, I heard back from him, and he goes, Rudy, I just got a mysterious package delivered to my office. It's a case of Coca-Cola and a Coca-Cola cooler, and it's right here in my office. I think that's when I won him over. Mr. Ambassador, we're so lucky to have you as the leader that you are, and at Coca-Cola we appreciate your loyalty. I'm also particularly happy to have my Coca-Cola family members, my Coca-Cola associates that are here. Thank you for being here. I'd also like to acknowledge the sponsors, Anheuser-Busch, Edison International, and Geico. Thank you for your sponsorship. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Hispanic Leaders Luncheon. And I'll never forget the day Mickey and I first started talking about this luncheon series. It became immediately clear to both of us that we shared a shared vision of bringing Latino leaders together and to share our personal stories with community and business leaders around the country. Leaders who could transcend their ethnic and political differences and work together for the common good of communities. Mickey and I had this very special and unique common experience, along with Jenny Korn, Ruben Barelas, Bettina, who, we worked for the President of the United States. And if you are in Washington, working in the White House is a very good job. Working in the White House with a popular president, now that's a great, great job. In Boston in 2004, we launched the first Latino Leaders Luncheon Series. The Coca-Cola Company, along with Verizon, were the first sponsors. And our good friend Emilio Gonzalez made that happen. Who would have thought that 12 years later, Mickey, we're here. We're here in Cleveland, Ohio. And it's amazing how things have changed, some for the good and some not so good. But thanks to the efforts and commitments from everybody here today, Latinos are making a big difference. One thing for sure, Latinos in both parties will not be taken for granted. This week, Hector Barreto and the Latino Coalition will be leading that charge. And Hector, you can count on us to help you get that done. Thank you for your leadership. After attending Latino Leaders Luncheons in the past, many of the speakers have focused the remarks on personal obstacles and things that they had to overcome. My success, for whatever that means, is really doesn't involve any significant obstacles. I attribute my advantages in the success to have been very blessed to have grown up in New Mexico, as it was mentioned earlier, blessed with a wonderful mother and father, and an older brother, Frank, who is my role model and mentor. In fact, those of us who grew up and lived in New Mexico know that we are blessed with the best of both worlds, a traditional multicultural community with Hispanics, African Americans, Anglos, and Native Americans, all for the common good. We take pride in our diverse history, culture, and heritage, a heritage that goes back to the 16th and 17th century, way before the founding of Plymouth Rock. Can you believe that? Hispanic tradition has always emphasized the importance of family. In our culture, family is the core of life. A tradition of patriotism and loving our country, but never forgetting our roots. In New Mexico, we have long had extensive history of Hispanics holding elected and appointed level positions, both in the local, state, and federal government. In fact, the very first Latina to be elected governor of any state in the U.S., our own Governor Susana Martinez. We're really proud of her. My family's been involved in New Mexico politics for generations. My father, Frank Sr., was precinct chairman in Albuquerque, and he was very instrumental in helping elect Senator Pete Domenici way back in 1973. My brother Frank was the youngest executive director for the Office of Civil Rights in 1975 for the state of New Mexico. He went on to serve in high-level government and in 3 different presidential administrations. Much of my personal success is derived from the fact that throughout my career, I have had the pleasure of working with bright, intelligent, highly motivated individuals, many of them here today. 2 major advantages that I had during my career was a privilege of working with 2 of the most outstanding individuals in politics and the private sector in the history of this country. I had the privilege of working for President Ronald Reagan, recognized today as one of the most popular, inspirational political figures in modern time. President Reagan was a charismatic leader who had a clear vision of what he wanted to accomplish as president. He always stayed focused and never deviated from his mission. Less government, no new taxes, a strong civil defense, and a balanced budget. Well, we never were able to balance the budget, but to be able to accomplish the other 3 was quite an accomplishment. And as it turns out in government, 3 out of 4 is not bad. I was also very proud to have been recruited by the Coca-Cola Company by our former chairman and CEO, Roberto Gosueta. If not the first, certainly one of the most, certainly one of the first Hispanics to head a Fortune 500 company. To pay homage to the life of this great man, I would like to share with you some of Mr. Gosueta's personal attributes and business ideas. Mr. Gosueta was a visionary, a leader who incorporated intelligence, loyalty, and integrity in everything he did. He believed that a company must have a heart and it must have a soul. Mr. Gosueta had a true global vision, and he often emphasized the importance of Coca-Cola to become part of the economic fabric of communities in which we serve and do business. He understood the importance for us to support the local economies, and I sincerely hope that each and every one of you will have the opportunity one day to work with such inspirational leaders as I have. I would like to conclude my remarks today by pointing out that everyone has a book. It's Mickeyisms. 30 Mickeyisms for Success. There's one, it's Mickeyism number 27, that I think really goes to the heart and soul of Mickey and I in our relationship. It's Mickeyism 27, which is friendship. Issues come and go. Friendship remain in place for a lifetime, and that's us, Mickey. We'll be friends for a lifetime. The Latino Leaders Network has always stood for optimism, diversity, and inclusion. Like the Coca-Cola Company, deep in our heritage is commitment to bringing people and communities together to find a common ground. In fact, last week, the Coca-Cola Company published a full-page ad in the USA Today and on our digital and social networks declaring this commitment. And I have it right here. I had it here. But it basically said, "We live as many and we stand as one. We live as many and we stand as one." Thank you very much for being here. Truly is an honor. I'm humbled for this great recognition, and thank you for all my friends for being here. Muchísimas gracias.
Rudy Beserra, on behalf of the Latino Leaders Network, it's my honor to present you with our Eagle Leadership Award for your contributions to our community and our country. Rudy, congratulations.